I guess it's Montana, and we're gonna have a look at my latest race, controversial one, but we'll get to that. Around China, in OneHub racing. We took a bit of a beating last time around in Abu Dhabi on the last lap, but we decided to take our mandatory engine penalty, which means just starting at the back on this track because it's my worst track in the game. So we'll just go for that one on this track and see if we can recover some points or minimize the losses. But yeah, just practice with low wings so we can maybe make some progress. Starts are usually good, but just get through the lap one without any incidents would be enough for me. And yeah, minimize the points deficit to Tom, who is starting at the front. Legend is starting next to me, and Henrik, who's also getting back into the championship, more or less, is also at the front. So we do the start quickly. Just try to nail it as usual with the PS5 advantage and the good traction we get. It's decent, but then I get kind of squeezed in, so I can't really go to the left, which I would like to do. And you can see Legend now can absolutely send it around the outside without having big issues. So that's a bit of a spanner in the works, but look at those guys going 3 wide, so just hold back, try to stay, keep my lows clean. And now the guys behind don't push too much as I almost lose it. The Haas does a Mazepin cosplay there. And then again, try to maybe think about going around the outside, then decide for a switchback, but people seem to almost spin. And here I decide not to waste any ERS, so I still have some at the end of the lap in terms of deployment. But there's no way to pass someone right here. You can see I tried to, but just run out of downforce and wings. But then the Red Bull just gets on the curb, hits the car in front, so that's him gone. Lucky for us, he didn't spin on the racing line. And we move on to a really awkward hairpin. I didn't want to go for move that, but they braked so early, so I kind of just put my nose there. Was a bit surprised that Konzo like left half space, but we get away with it. It was a bit of a scare, so we learned from that. And now lap 2, after a short virtual safety car, we just tried to maybe get that position on Konzo, running 9 wings, which might sound like quite a lot, but at the same time most people run higher wings than that. So we should have a decent advantage on the straight, and you can already see he's also pushing his battery, and we make that move comfortably. Always tricky here to not hit the car in front when sending it down the inside. We'll get to that later again as well. And here you see the opportunity to maybe catch someone off guard. Kind of like the main straight here, the start-finish straight, as a overtaking opportunity. And you can see you just catch someone out with using your ERS wisely. And yeah, we go down the inside of the soft runner. Mediums at this stage, probably already quicker. So quite nice from us there, so we can get that move done easily. And now another soft runner just suffering through that long snail corner section. And this time with DRS shouldn't be too hard of a move. And we catch up to Legend, who gained many more positions than ourselves on the opening lap. So we do a great move there, easy and clean. And now we maybe try to regenerate some energy. And you can already see on the next lap, seem to have a decent pace at that moment. Felt way better than in practice in Grand Prix mode. So I decide here that I'm about 5/10ths back, a bit less. Get a decentish exit to just try to send it. And again, the slipstream seems so massive on this straight. With the DRS and ERS open, easy move, don't get on the curb on the inside, otherwise you're gonna have a nice little cam block moment. So we get that done, covered inside to avoid any switchbacks. And now we've got Samba ahead, 1.6 seconds, who started in the top 10 on mediums. So if we catch up to him at the end of the stint, that's perfect, which is exactly what we do. We decided to save some ERS behind him quite early on, so I could go a bit longer, because I didn't know when to stop really. We see Samba going into the pits, and we decide to go for one more lap, and Legend behind, who kept up, also pitted. And the undercut usually is quite powerful, so we send it into the pit lane entry. You can gain so much time there. Just brake as light as possible. And the other guys are doing medium, medium, soft. We do medium, soft, medium. Why? Because now we have the pace to catch up to the leaders and then fight them at the end. I felt like the softs in practice were really good on the second stint, not overheating too much. And you can see we actually get out ahead of Legend, so he didn't manage to undercut us. We had quite a decent in lap, and he's maybe struggled a little bit on the outlap. So we get that position done, and now we need to get past Samba before he catches up into the DRS train. And you can see the softs are so much quicker right now, probably a second-ish per lap. So we just do this move nice and easily. Tom pushed outside the DRS of Samba as well, so no DRS for Samba, easy move for us, we can save some energy. And at this point I was, as you can also hear in the background, talking to Tom about the team strat. There's obviously also a big Constructors Championship. We look quite good in that moment. So he lets us through on the next straight, as we almost pinned it out the last corner. So I have to push a bit extra to get past him. But we do purple last sector, so easy move on Tom. Cheers to him for not fighting, and then we decided to use him to hold them up a little bit. He fought quite nicely, and you can see we did the fastest lap of the race. Now just keep an eye on the gap to Henry. It's coming down lap by lap. Soft's not really dropping off at this point to keep them somehow alive with high temps and high pressures. And then when we see he pits, I think, okay, let's copy him. He has to go mediums as well. So we're going to be on the exact same tyres for the rest of the race. And unlikely as it's for China, but we tried to go for the win on ultra pace, which is not something I thought I would ever say in China. But as you can see, things get a bit more difficult. We actually got inside the DRS window, but that's because we have some traffic ahead. And I think about also trying to go for a move. You can see I used the overtake mode a bit too long maybe, and it just can't get past. They all have DRS except for the car at the head of the train, and Henry does a double move, so fair play to him for that. But we just can't get past those two yet. And as they both have DRS here and don't pit, crucially, we're going to be stuck behind them for the middle sector, which I can't really allow because that would enable Henry to get away by 1.5, 2 seconds easily. So we need to make the move in somewhat of an unorthodox place, but try to see what we can shape up. But yeah, trying to get some kind of switchback line going out of this corner. Really hard traction zone here, especially on wheel. We managed to do it quite nicely, and then we just use that ERS. Thinking about the inside, but I don't want to crash into Larkin, which I always do though, going around the outside. Can't really stop it in time, so I had to avoid it, but I get insane traction here, and I thought, now or never, and just go down inside of Larkin as well here. Really crucial to make those moves. As you can see, Henry already 1.2 ahead. So we make those moves a bit in a weird spot, but certainly one of the best moves around here you can do. Fresh tire is just a huge difference. And then we catch up to J. Cole, who held us up a little bit in the middle sector, but we can use his DRS to gain back some time. And you can see now a bit low on ERS, but Henry is flashing. That is so, but he gained a little bit of time as he just was spamming the battery all the time. He wasn't trying to save any backup, he was just using it. And you can see the gap is coming down bit by bit by bit, always gaining the time on the straights where he was derating and with the lower wings. And finally, on lap 26 of 28 at the end, we get into that DRS zone. A tasty DRS train is now gonna happen pretty soon. And you can see on the last sector of the penultimate lap, we catch up to him. And immediately noticed he doesn't want to be the car ahead into the last lap. And at this point I'm really uncertain what to do, and now make yourself ready for the controversy. Because I go down the inside, but I don't want to be ahead for the last lap, so as I can see he's going for the switchback. I lift off the throttle, as you can see, to give him the DRS, but he's also lifting. So then I'm braking, and then he tries to pull in last second behind me before I put the brake. And that's what makes him spin, and as you can hear, I was definitely not amused with that. And he wasn't needed, so that's still with the stewards. But it was just both of us trying to get the DRS on that straight and not being P1. But yeah, somehow we make it from P14-ish to P1 in China, my worst track, and where we took the engine penalty, so we can now focus on each qualifying, and that's a provisional win.